Good morning. Hello. Hello. Hey, I am Monica Miller, your immediate past president, and I'm chair of the Leadership Development Committee, and that's why I have the privilege of being up front here right now. I want to welcome you to our RSCK candidate forum. This forum is held to allow qualified candidates for the RSCK Board of Directors an opportunity to address the members so the members can get to know their candidates. The Leadership Development Committee has worked hard to identify and secure the future leadership of RSCK. I would like to thank our committee members, Arlen Newell, Tim Drennan, Jessica Mayer, Patty Sanders, our staff liaisons, Sheila and Dakota. And I would like to take a minute to thank all of our staff and everyone that makes this association run well. So I'm going to briefly highlight the job description, and the script was made for me briefly as a couple paragraphs. The board of directors is comprised of several RSCK members and forms of one voice, which governs the association in accordance with bylaws. The directors serve an essential component of the main decision-making of the association. The primary duty of a director is to meet regularly with the officers and directors to approve, establish, prioritize, and evaluate the programs and services the association should ensure to be sure they serve the mission of the association. Sorry, guys. While a director need not be involved in the day-to-day administrative details and operations, he or she should be informed to represent the members in ensuring the continuity. See, I get nervous when I get up here and say words I know how to say. So, of the association by planning for the future. Public speaking is not my strong suit.
Hey, it's impressive you can do it without readers.
Establishing and reviewing major policies and programs and ensuring the association is fiscally sound. Those are your main priorities. There are 4 open positions for 2024 through 2026. The qualifications for each of today's 7 candidates were met, and those are at least 2 years as a Realtor member, 2 years as an active Realtor Association committee experience or equivalent, and leadership experience in the past 3 years, so leadership experience. No ethical violations. Thank you guys for not doing any of that. It keeps some of our committees very busy though. And broker acknowledgement of the application to make sure you guys can have the support you need. I'm going to introduce our 6 candidates being brought forward on the ballot. Ashley Collins, Asher Home Realty. Peggy Griffith, Berkshire Hathaway, PenFed. Stephanie McCurdy, Keller Williams Hometown Partners. Amy Priester, Keller Williams Hometown Partners. Mindy Wagner, Coldwell Banker Plaza. And Tara White, Signature Homes by Tara White. I will be serving as the moderator for this forum, and we have provided the candidates with a list of questions that we will cover today in the forum. We will begin by letting each candidate introduce themselves. Ashley, can we start with you?
Can you hear me? Testing.
There we go.
Wasn't ready for this question. I'm Ashley Collins. I have been a realtor for 9 years. Not really sure how long I've been a broker. I didn't keep track, but I've had my brokerage now, actually, I guess 2.5 years, Asher House Realty. And I am currently the chair for the Professional Development Committee, active member in the DEI committee. Yeah.
You can say as little or as much as you want. Well, maybe not as much.
I never say enough. I feel like I never say enough, but I'm going to stop there.
All right, I am Peggy Griffith, and I do want to apologize for my voice. It's not a virus. I just anesthesiologist got a little too crazy with my throat and vocal cords. So anyway, I have been a full-time licensed realtor for 12 years. and been on the MLS committee for 4 or 5 years now, I believe. Part of that was co-chair or vice chair, sorry. And then I became chair early because our chair at the time he was no longer part of the MLS. So I ended up taking over the role for probably almost a year and a half. So still on the committee, and I've been an accountant prior to this, prior to real estate, I call it my past life. So anyway, lifelong Wichita. Thank you.
Well, I think it would help to hold that mic close to your mouth. We can hear you better.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie McCurdy, and I have been a full-time licensed realtor. I'm going to be completing my 20th year in December. So I have served in multiple areas of our association, RPAC, government affairs, professional standards, grievance. I am now the director liaison to the government affairs committee after chairing that committee a few years previous to that. I currently sit on the board of directors for the Realtors of South Central Kansas and for the Kansas Association of Realtors. And I have been active in attending our National Association of Realtors conferences and different events that they have been holding. Previous to getting my real estate license almost 20 years ago, I was a student in college and finishing up to do something other than real estate. So I changed my major kind of at the last minute, and I'm sure glad I did, and I enjoy serving our association.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
No cross.
Okay, can you hear me? How's that? Good. I'm Amy Preister. I have had my license. I didn't realize you beat me. 17 years. I really thought that I was going to be the longest. So 17 years I've been in this industry. You want a little known secret? I did my very first open house with Jessica Mayer.
Oh.
17. I could walk you to that house right now. So it's been a few years and a few children and all that kind of stuff. So I have never served on anything like this except for grievance. I really have just focused on my own business, building my team. So I'm ready to venture out and just try new things and help the people in our community and see what we can just do better.
I'm Mindy Wagner. I have been a licensed realtor for 10 years. I've been at Coldwell Banker Plaza the entire time out west. Before real estate, I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. And then before that, I had marketing and retail management in a couple of different places. So, and down here, I was on MLS committee for 5 years, vice chaired, chaired it, and then did professional development. Now currently the vice chair on that committee.
Last but not least, I'm Tara White, and I am in my own solo brokerage that I started 2.5 years ago. I've been in real estate this is the middle of my 7th year, so I am the newest on this panel. Before that, though, I had a 30-year medical legal background that I loved, and it has really helped me in this business, ironically. And since I've been in real estate, I have been on the grievance committee for 3 years, and I'm currently on professional standards.
Thank you. And we're going to dive into the questions that we prepared for you guys. So the next ones, you will know what's going to be asked. And we'll kind of mix it up. So we're going to start at this end.
Of course we are.
So what experience do you have that will provide value to the RSCK Board of Directors? We'd like you to be specific about that, but 2 minutes so we don't end up here all day.
Gotcha. So I said that I had a medical legal background for 30 years prior to coming into real estate. And part of that was representing doctors. I've been on a hospital board for 3 years. That is probably the biggest experience that I think mirrors this role. We helped make policies, we helped make changes, we had to navigate the laws and the rules and the regulations. All of that seems to be very similar to what we're doing here, just in real estate. So I think I bring that. I have, let's see, through the legal field, you meet a lot of interesting people, and you do the same in real estate, and you have to know how to navigate that. So I think my background lends really well to this job.
Thank you. I think that was a great question or answer. Okay, the next phone that rings, there's this right here. And we will make you at least a $15 investment today. If you already are $15, we're going to move you up to the 99. I will come collect. Mindy, do you need the repeat of the question? You good?
I think I got it. I think kind of a lifetime gives you a broad leadership base of experience. In retail management, I was kind of the mid-tier, which I feel like serves well for this board position. You have to hear from the associates at the floor level and what's important to them at the store level to get the actual job done, and then convey that to upper management, whether it's the buyers, whether it's corporate, on how can we influence policies to make that better for them. And then experience within my realtor life and my mom life. I mean, you got 4 kids and a household to run. If you're not a leader, you don't do it very well. And then in my realtor life, the MLS committee, I'll probably speak for Peggy on this. If talk about getting lost in the weeds, some of those MLS meetings and the rules and the things that you're trying to hash through to be able to keep people focused. You want to hear from everybody on the committee, but that is a tough committee to run. You want to hear all the opinions, but you want to keep people on track, and you don't want to be off 30 minutes down the road and not get anything decided. So I feel like that experience allows me to communicate well with others and to kind of be that liaison then in this position.
Okay, let's see. The value one more time.
What experience do you have that will provide value to the board of directors?
I think the value that I bring to the board of directors would just be the experience that I've had over my time in real estate. And then also, I just really have a let's get it done attitude. Like, I don't have time for all the other stuff. Like, if we are coming together and we have a job to do, that's what we need to do, right? So also at the same time, I built a team. I have 15 people right now. So I also know when to, I think I put this somewhere, like sometimes I just need to shut my mouth and listen. And then sometimes there's a time that you need to open your mouth when you really believe in something. And I think that that's what we need here.
All right. I think everybody can hear me. So my value that I bring to the board of directors is previous experience. I've been sitting on the board for the last few years. I've been a working member of our board, working through some of the most hot topics that we've had in a really long time when it comes to just our government affairs, and to see where that takes us in our industry. We are leading into the next few years that are looking to be fairly tough for us, and to make sure that our members are held and compassion with them and getting them to where they need to be, and to make sure that we help them just saying on government affairs, but also with our grievance and professional standards, with making sure that we're holding each other accountable. And I think that those are 2 things that I'm really passionate about when it comes to experience and bringing those things to the table. So.
Okay, I'll try to hold it closer. I talk with my hands, so. Fine. Anyway, so being a realtor for the 12 years full time, the whole time, jumped in both feet, and then serving on the MLS committees, like she said, that it's a tough committee to be on. So, and being the chair for almost a year and a half. and leading that. And then, like I said, in my background of being an accountant in my prior life, I was an accountant, controller, did everything from, all aspects of accounting, but including financials and budgets and things like that. Everything that, payroll, accounts payable, even part of my past would be instigating a whole new accounting system software and getting the whole company set up on that, training them. And that was a big part of my past as well. So.
So other than everything I've already said, opening my own brokerage and being a realtor for 9 years, being on the professional development committee, on the DI committee, my background and value that I can bring to the board of directors would be that, I come from a restaurant management background. I don't know if you all have ever been in restaurants or food in general and people, but it is challenging to say the least. And I'll tell you what, other than probably buying homes, people are very passionate about their food. And I could tell you some stories. So, but the management part is probably the most important part. And, I bring a lot of, somebody who can make decisions very quickly. And also I've trained a lot of people over my time, not just in restaurant management, but with real estate, having my own brokerage. I train my own realtors. I've trained realtors at my past brokerage. Recently last year, the RSCK appreciated me with the YPN award as someone who's actively involved. And I just plan on doing the same thing on the board as well.
Okay, well, let's start with Amy this time. What specific association benefit do you believe is the most important to members and why?
Okay, honestly, this is funny because I was like, I hope I don't get this question. I know all the other ones. I know all the other ones. Here's what's very strange. In 17 years, I feel like our industry and everything in this town is just so smooth and easy, and you don't even realize why that is, right? And I have a family that are agents in Colorado, and they were here a couple weeks ago, and then I realized what it looks like when it's bad, right? So I think that we're not telling our story enough. And I think that's everything, right? Communication and just telling people why and how and why we're better and what we can do for you. And really realizing how good we have it.
Okay.
Which way?
Let's go with Mindy. She looks excited to answer.
Okay, I'm sorry. What's the question?
What specific association benefit do you believe is the most important to our members? You're fine.
Okay, well, even more so now, sitting on the professional development committee, but I've always thought this is the education that we offer as an association. How much work goes into our instructors and the training that they do to teach the classes is unbelievable, and so appreciative of that. But I think that's really everybody's complaint is, oh, this agent on the other side doesn't know what they're doing. I know how many times you've heard somebody say that, and it's like, well, they should know what they're doing because there's every opportunity for them to learn it, whether it's education through their brokerage or education through our association. And so I think really promoting that as an association and getting people excited to maybe raffle e-cards for the 5-year members to re-go through and take all the classes for a year and to keep learning and to push that education, I think is really the best thing that we have that's available for everyone.
Well, I think we all have the same opinions here. So I am not going to belabor it, but my thing is the education. I like what our association offers. I wish that once COVID happened, everything kind of worked to go in online, and that I did, and I just my last, CE hours I did online, but I told myself I miss the in-person interaction. So that's my goal for this year is next session, I'm going to get all my CE hours done in person. I miss that. It's good getting to see everybody in person, and the association just brings everybody together. But at the end of the day, the big thing out here for me is I can have a bad day. And because we're busy, we're hot, we're running ragged, we're all over the place. But then it's, oh my gosh, I need more signs. I need this, I need that. And you come in here, and I'm going to give a shout out to Alvina. She is awesome. And she will always put a smile on my face when you walk in that door, no matter what kind of day you're having. So kudos to the association because she's fantastic. So that's what I've got.
Ashley, we'll jump down to you.
So I was going to say education, but I feel like that's going to be beating a dead horse. So I'm going to move on to just the staff in general. She mentioned Alvina, and then everybody else from Sheila to, of course, Cindy, who's gone now, and Christina, everybody who I've talked to. They're just so helpful and welcoming. And I mean, you call them, they're helpful. You come in, nobody ever has, everybody's always smiling. Everybody's always happy. And it's always like a great place to be. So if you aren't taking advantage of your association, you're just really missing out on a group of people that are just, here for you, here to help you. And I'm not sure who's doing the hiring around here, but y'all are doing a great job. Even your new people. Sorry, I don't know all your names yet, but y'all are great and super nice and very helpful. And I just really appreciate that.
Well, I'm going to list a few things that I like about the association. And one of them that I actually personally love, and I use it a lot, and I hope others do, is the forewarn app that they provide to us as realtors. Then all the platforms and the forms that they keep up to date, and the platforms that are provided to the realtors. And then just the advocacy and helping with government affairs. And those are the things that I appreciate that the association does, plus everything else everybody said. But
Okay, so I'm last. Okay, so I believe that our education here at the Realtors of South Central Kansas is incredible. I had the opportunity to become an instructor about 3 years ago, right when COVID happened. And it wasn't just throw me to the fire. It was, okay, the staff was like, we're going to get you training. We're going to do this. And so they not only expect us to be trained, but to be able to give everything out to the members of our association and the questions and the classes. And it's advancing our professionalism and our skills for the agent. We're always looking to bring new education to the Realtors of South Central Kansas. And that continuous learning makes us all better. Like Mindy said, it's hard to do a real estate transaction with someone on the other side that may not know everything that we would know. And it's our job to help bring them along as well, still representing our clients, both the buyer and the seller. So education is hands down the best.
Awesome. Let's start with Peggy. And I'm going to switch to some different topics that are a little bit, because I feel some of these are some of the same vein, but what does RPAC mean to you?
well, it means for me getting a seat at the table and representing us, lobbying for us on all levels of the government. From local government to the state and national levels. I do feel that because of RPAC, we were deemed essential during the whole COVID years. And had that not happened, we would all be hurting, right? So those are some of the big things that I feel like they do for us.
Gotcha. We'll pass it down to Ashley.
So RPAC to me means electing candidates who are fighting for our policies, developing solutions that are helping not only realtors, but our clients as well. Just like she said, I felt like the biggest benefit that I saw from RPAC was during COVID. That's when I really felt, the support that we needed. I saw a lot of other states who weren't essential and couldn't work. So, I really appreciated that and really valued that. So I support it, and I definitely encourage others to support it as well.
RPAC is the future of our industry. and it advocates for the Realtor Party, not just political candidates, but all across the board. They're the ones that are ensuring that we are protecting the American dream, and that's something that we sell day in and day out. I would be remiss if I didn't say, if you are not contributing to RPAC, you should be doing that at any level, whatever it takes, be involved. I will tell you, over the last few years alone, we have needed our RPAC budget more and more. We have Gentry who's in-house, who's working with RPAC funds, so what that looks like for our association and for the state association, and make sure that we're protecting our industry and our association. Oh, I guess you have your own mic.
You can share.
I think RPAC is this thing working? Okay. I think to me, it's like being part of your tribe, right? And feeling like you're not the only one out there. And in this industry, what she said, everything is hard. Everything is getting harder. And there's so many things, and it's a constant change. And just feeling like there's somebody looking out for you all the time, and not just that you're going it alone. And also, I think for us is keeping it with our core values and not being the same of maybe other parts of the country that aren't the same as us. And we just come together as a community and do what's right for the greater good of us. And I think that that's what it's about.
Yes, to all of those things. And I look at it as so many things. You vote with your dollar. If you're not happy with this restaurant, don't go back there. You're not happy, whatever. So RPAC is an easy way to vote with your dollars. And so make the contribution and join RPAC. There's a lot of things that I don't know about and really don't want to work that hard to politically know about, that I'm happy to pay someone else to do on my behalf. And so it's an easy as writing a check, and the benefits are too many to number.
So I agree with everything Mindy especially just said about write the check. When I started in real estate 7 years ago, and yearly, I think it's yearly, and that's when you pay for it. And I remember asking, what is this fee for? It was $25 or $50. I'm like, I'm not paying that. What is this? And I was told, don't pay it. Don't pay it. And that first year, I will be honest, I didn't pay it because I was told, oh, you don't need it. Don't worry about it. But then I'm that person that I dive in. If I don't know about something, I want to know what is it. So after that, I thought, okay, I'm going to see what RPAC really is. And that's when I learned it's the legislature that it tells us what's going on, how we're dealing with our industry issues. And it became a bigger deal than what I thought it was. So when I say I agree with Mindy, I don't know much more beyond that, but I know we should support it. And there are other people that can do good things with that money, and everybody should be supporting RPAC. That's in our association.
You guys did such a great job with that. Gentry will be around with QR codes to help you guys invest in RPAC if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much. So I'm gonna ask, why are you interested in serving on the board? And who have I not picked on to start? Stephanie, thank you.
All right. So in 2020, after serving multiple areas in our association, I decided it was time to take that step forward and become a part of the board of directors. During the years that I've served, the last few years, we re-upped our strategic plan. And I will tell you that this board that we have now are working diligently to implement and continue to implement pieces of our strategic plan and proceed forward with what our industry is going to look like. I'm also raising the bar of our industry and professionalism. And I believe that serving on this board, I get the opportunity to continue that good work that we've already started.
Sure, that works.
Um, I feel like being part of this would be an opportunity to give back to the association that has given so much to me. I've been very blessed as a full-time realtor for the 12 years. I jumped in with both feet, and the everything that they do for us, I think, has helped make me more successful. But I also, because I'm not a broker, and I know there are a lot of brokers on this board, I'm going to be the voice of the average full-time agent. So I just want to just be there and be a voice for them.
Yeah, that works.
Thank you. I would say a couple of reasons. Like she said, I definitely want to give back. I like to be as active as possible at the RSCK. I think this is just the next step. Also, I definitely want representation. I think we need to be a little more culturally diverse, representing all people. And I just feel like if you're going to complain about something, then you should do something about it. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you. Tara, we'll skip down to you.
Again, I'll mimic everything they said because we've all apparently got the same brain here today. But no, it's all about giving back for me. And for me, I have been, like I said, in this business for 7 years. I have thought about doing this before now, but it seems like the right time. I needed to make sure I loved the business, make sure that I understood the business, because if you don't do that, you can't contribute. And like everybody else has said, it's the natural next step. I think I have a lot from my past life that I can bring to this. I'm not afraid to be assertive and speak up. I will always have an opinion, but that opinion can also always be changed with good conversation. And I communicate very well, and I will listen to what other people say, take that into consideration, and then hopefully collectively we will all be able to make the best decision for this association.
One thing about real estate, I think you're only successful in this career for as hard as you work. And I think that kind of holds true in all things in your lives, and that I've tried to teach my children is if you want it, work for it. It'll only work as hard as you do. So I feel like our association is that same way. If we're not willing to work for it, then how can we expect it to support us? I think everyone eventually at some point in their careers should be, whether volunteering committee level, not everybody wants to be a board of director or has the skills for it, but you should be giving time to your association just to make our industry stronger. So I feel like this has been, have been thinking about it a while and getting encouragement from my broker. So it's a good point now in my life of where my kids are, and that I feel like I have the time to dedicate it and do a good job at it.
I think for me, it's hard going last, you guys. I'm gonna say like everything everybody else said. Yeah, I agree. I think for me, like I am the person that likes a challenge. I want to be I want things to change. I want things to always be better. I want to be ahead of the game and not behind, and proactive instead of reactive. And I think that that's what I need. I feel like I've met a lot of challenges over the years and what I've done in this industry, and I'm ready for a new challenge. And I want to be a part of something bigger and something that I really haven't jumped into. Like, do you know how hard it is to sit next to this lady? I have been on the grievance committee for 3 years. Okay, that's what I have. But what I know is that I know this industry, I know people, and I'm passionate and stubborn and all those things. And so I think all those qualities come together for this.
Okay. Keep that mic. We'll let you go first. That's
Great.
You don't like that either. I see. I know. As an association leader, what do you feel is your role in the community?
I think community is a word that we use a lot. So I think we have a lot of communities in our lives. And are we talking Wichita in general? Are we talking real, just agents? Are we talking home buyers and home sellers? And what is it? So I think that what we have to do is just be the leaders, tell our story correctly. And I think that since COVID, our story hasn't been told. We're getting told the story instead of creating the story ourselves. So, and we can say all those things about living local and supporting local and all those things. But to me, it's like support where your feet are, where it is, whether it's, like I said, the agent, whether it's your kids at school, whether it's RPAC, whatever it is, just whatever you're passionate about and love and like want to be, then that's what we need to be doing.
Works.
I think our role in the community is to promote home ownership and property rights. I think the beauty of the brand of being a realtor is that everyone thinks they know what we do. I mean, when they think of, oh, I'm going to buy a house, the next thing they think of is I need a realtor, hopefully. So to be the voice that can give information on that, to speak with knowledge and to give a clear picture and to be governed by our ethics so that people believe that we are a professional industry and just to capitalize on the beauty of the brand of realtor to our community. One thing that I loved, I actually had some clients that lost their house in the Andover tornado. They were right behind the Y. And so to be able to call them and say, our association has this program that you can file for was so cool. I mean, I could do so much. I could contribute to their GoFundMe campaign. I went over and helped individually, but then to say the power of our organization, and they were so appreciative of that. They applied and went through and every little bit helps. So I think that presence in our community is so important to get the word out there.
I think that it's in large part passing on good information to the community. I have come across some clients here recently that have, they're trying to decide who they want to work with. And this person says this to me, and this is scary. And it's, it doesn't have to be scary right now. Right now is a tough time in real estate. Interest rates are high. We've got low inventory. But I think as an agent, it's not about the sale for me. It's about making sure the right thing is done for the client. And I think that sometimes people get away from that. And I think that we need to make sure that it's always the buyer and seller that are taken care of. And it's just spreading good information and making sure that people are educated, whether it is to your benefit or not.
Stephanie, we'll jump to you.
So something interesting that has happened over the last year is the National Association of Realtors, our president, Kenny Barsall, he came up with a slogan for this year, and it was "Ride with the Brand." It means so much more than just a few of those words. It means it's talking about our brand. It's talking about us being ambassadors and being the voice of our industry. As a board of director member of the last few years, we've had the opportunity to participate in a lot of conversation of what happens at city and county and within our own organization. And I think that that is incredibly important, especially whenever we're out in the community. We want to be seen as the voice of this industry. We want our electeds to come to us because we are the brand.
Sorry, it's got to swallow. I feel like as the industry and the market changes, and Lord knows how many changes have we been in the last 10 years, we need to really be there and help our realtors in our industry. Sometimes these changes hit us upside the head, and we need to be able to be there for everybody and be a voice and advocate for the realtors here. So that's what I feel like I would, again, like I said, I would be the advocate for the full-time realtor.
I believe as realtors, we all have a part to play in our community. And I think we all have to remember that we are always representing our industry. We're always on. I wish it didn't mean like when we were driving, because the other day I was honking at somebody and they ran in front of me, and Then they got behind me and I'm like, great, now they're gonna know I'm a realtor. So that was awkward. But I just think that it's our responsibility. We have a responsibility of professionalism, not just to ourselves, but to our industry and all its members as well.
Right. We'll let you start again. What is the most pressing issue for our association today?
Oh, for our association, I definitely would agree that it was the lack of participation. And I think I said this last year too. Very passionate about the lack of participation that happens here. I'm probably, do I have a 2-minute limit on this? Like I could make an entire speech about it, honestly. It's a little frustrating, obviously, as a chair of professional development committee who is involved in the education department. And we, plan a lot of these classes and we really work hard on, trying to bring these things to our association for its members to take advantage of. And constantly hearing that we don't have enough people coming, or we're just going to barely break even, and all of our, our members get out of their way to come and teach some of these classes. They put their businesses aside and their things that they have to do to come and, further education for the members. And then also sometimes we spend money to actually bring people from other cities and states here to help and train our members. So it's frustrating when, you show up and there's only a handful of people here when we know we have almost 2,500 members. So I definitely think lack of participation at the association is very sad. It's sad. And like I said, I could talk about it for a while, but
Okay, time
yeah.
for you to pass the
Is
mic.
that it? Okay.
What I feel like is the most pressing issue for us is the commission lawsuits that have been happening on the East Coast and the West Coast. And if you're not aware of it, the current buyer and seller models of commissions being paid is changing. I think we need to be proactive and see what we can do to sharpen our skills and help those buyer agents to protect our model that we have here. I do think with the changes that are happening, in right or wrong, I believe that eventually we're going to get to, if it infiltrates our area, if we end up having to do something like what they're doing, I feel like that it's going to affect the buyers being unrepresented more than they are now, even with our market the way we are. And then it's going to lead to more lawsuits again, like there were years and years ago before there was representation. So I do feel like that we need to be proactive in what's going on nationally here in our local association.
Thank you.
Thank you. Me? Yep. So I think the most pressing issue for our association is still going to be the shortage of inventory in affordable housing locally. We see it every day where we have buyers that are wanting to buy and they have a limited budget and we don't have anywhere for them to go. We have supply and demand issues that are contributing to that. And that is not something that is just going to change overnight. This is a long-term issue with long-term work, hard work on our behalf, and also for the work of our clients to make sure that they know that we can get them in the house, they can have affordable housing, and what does that look like for them?
I'll just keep going online, Amy.
I think this is an interesting question. And all your perspectives are so different. And they're all, everybody's right? I mean, there is no wrong answer, but I think we have to just make sure that we are the ones ahead of the game and exactly what you said. How do we do what she said? How do we take action, right? How do we stop talking about it? How do we get 100 people to pack this room for a training that Stephanie's doing that she's taken her time for. Like, what is the action item that we need for those? And I think that if we put the right people in the right places, that we can make that happen instead of the same, like insanity, right? We're doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Something has to change to get this to be different.
Agreed. And I just kind of had the same thing that Peggy had talked about. We, as Coldwell Banker Plaza, merged with Coldwell Banker Select out of Oklahoma in the last year and a half or so. And our new owner out of Oklahoma is so global in his vision, and he's very active at the national level and has been sharing a lot of information about these lawsuits, and is very and I believe there's one even as close as Missouri. There's a class action suit. So I think who knows what the outcome of that is going to be, but it's definitely going to affect our association level. And whether it's having to, at the form level, having to change and address forms to accommodate the new direction and to figure out what roles are going to be. And I feel like our association is going to be so important in being the calming voice to our constituents and letting them know that we understand it. This is how we're going to deal with it. This is how we go forward, and to get that information and to kind of calm the hysteria on it, I think is going to be a hugely important role of the association.
Last is hard. It's all been said. But no, I agree with everybody. And my thing is, and I think I put this even in my application for this role, is the involvement in the association. That I'm the first to admit I was pretty involved before COVID. After COVID hit, I got lazy. It was, oh, no, I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to go do that. I mean, even the fun things that the organization plans, I haven't even made those. And so I agree. I think a lot of this is we need to get members involved, fill the rooms. And the other end of it is, like everybody else has said, we are fighting interest rates and inventory, and sellers and buyers that think they can do this on their own. And, I have had several people that, if you tell them your worth, they will stay. But it's educating them, and it's not one conversation. It is multiple conversations trying to show them the value that we have. And so that is something that I didn't have to do 3 years ago. It was, yes, everybody needed a realtor. So it was easy. It's not as easy now. And so you've got to make sure that we can make everybody understand that there is value. And, it can be as simple as, if you get one ugly transaction that cancels potentially, and there is the threats of a lawsuit, which I have dealt with recently, that client was so thankful that I was involved. We got things handled. Everybody, brokers got involved. Everything was understood. And, they were very, very appreciative when that was put to bed. And I think that there's a lot of value that we have that people don't realize that we can give them. It's not just, let me go show you this house and let me write this offer and let me make this commission, which is what they think it is. And there is so much more to it. And I think, again, it's all about education, whether it's in the organization or with the consumer out there.
Okay, we'll start with you again. And this one, you guys should have very unique answers to. The people in this room would be surprised to know that
This is the most difficult question. So I'm going to go with something from 31 almost years ago. Very lighthearted, easy, nothing serious. So I tell myself I could have been Mrs. Tom Cruise. Yeah. So literally, my daughter turned 1 when this was going on, and she's now 31. So you do the math, whatever year that was. So I was a photo double in a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie that starred Glenn Close and Christopher Walken. And they are as amazingly weird as you would imagine. In fact, Glenn was dating Woody Harrelson at the time. So that was a even twisted, weird bonus. And yeah, and so through that process, I was asked by the casting director to audition in front of the director. And if the director liked me, the role was gonna be mine. He wouldn't give me anything beyond that, but here I am single. I have a 1-year-old daughter. Timing wasn't right. And I said, no, thank you. I appreciate it, but I'm going to pass. Well, probably a year and a half later, that same casting director gives me a call and says, did you figure out what that movie was? And I'm like, no, I hadn't even thought about it since then. And ironically, it was for the role of Tom Cruise's wife in The Firm. So there's my little fun fact.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry I let her go first.
I'm an open book. I got nothing. A lot of times people say, is she always that like happy? And I am, because my maiden name is Smiley, Mindy Smiley. So you can't grow up with a last name like Smiley. Like the coaches couldn't yell at me. You can be like, Smiley, get down. You can't yell that name. And so then people can't say that to you and you're not always, So I've had a lifetime of grooming.
Such a lovely person. Okay, I can go one of two ways, A or B. Stephanie, what do you think? My father delivered my mother.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even know how you follow that up. This is so hard. People would be surprised to know about me. I think there's probably maybe one person in this room knows this, of course, my husband. So I was actually a college basketball coach, women's division, while I was still in college with the women on the team. So I had to check their curfew. It was a terrible experience for that. But I loved coaching them. We had an incredible team. We made it all the way to the big tournament that year, my last year, and I still get to talk to my players today. So it's been really nice. So.
Okay, this really was the toughest question. And it really was. And I have really boring answers compared to everybody else. So, couple little things. My closest people know about me, but others don't. I did run, it's been a little while, but I did run 3 half marathons in 13 months.
That's exciting.
And can't do that now. I'll do it again. Another little thing is my husband and I love music of all kinds. And of course, his industry, he was always around music. And we love going down to the Walnut Valley Bluegrass Festival every year and spending time down there. So it's some of the most talented musicians down there. And we just love listening to them.
I was going to go with something simple, but after all that, I'm definitely going harder. I think people will be surprised to know that about 5.5 years ago, my business partner I'm not sure if I mentioned I own a property management company, but we were celebrating our 1-year anniversary. Jessica, I know you already know this story. And we were celebrating our 1-year anniversary for our business, and we went down to Vegas to celebrate. And I handed him my phone to fill out a marriage certificate, and he did. So that was my proposal, and that was him saying yes, and now we're married.
So I know this is a difficult question, but it really does bring out some personality in you guys. And I know some of this other stuff is a little bit drier. So we only have a couple minutes left. So quickly, what would be your best business advice for others? And we'll start in the middle. Stephanie.
Never stop learning. The more that you can learn, the more you absorb. You'll take something with you from every class. It may be 1 or 2 things, but you will continually learn. And to be in our business, it is continuous learning all the time. I mean, you have to stay persistent. You have to follow up, do all of those things, but definitely never stop learning.
I would say always ask questions, whether you're a new agent or a seasoned. Always ask questions. Don't assume anything. With our brokerage, I for a while coached new agents, and I always told them, ask me, call somebody if you don't know the answer and you don't know how to do something. I also feel like live by the golden rule. Treat everybody right. They're going to treat you right if you treat them right. So, and then of course what Stephanie said too, but.
I definitely would say time management is one, and I'm big time guilty of this, but manage your time well. Use your do not disturb on your phone. Use your daily calendar. If it's on your phone or you have a paper one, I don't care, but like follow it. Don't let people rob you of your time, because they will, especially in this business when you're working for yourself. Your people you love are the worst. And so just, you don't have anything to do. We can go out, it's fine. So definitely time management.
Amy, we'll let you grab it.
I think for me is what I've learned is there's no magic pill, and it just is time on task and do the work and go back to the fundamentals. There's nothing that you're going to figure out that hasn't already been done. And in the same breath, education and all that, right? That's totally different. You just have to put the work in. And the second thing is just what you said, like, be a good human. Why is everybody's mad all the time, right? Like everybody wants to be right instead of getting to the same end goal. And I think that that's what we are all here to do, right? Is get to the same end goal but do it in like a really nice way.
Right? Amen to that. And here's my 2-second advice. Answer your phone and make sure you have a functioning voicemail box. It's not that hard. I'm just saying.
All good advice, but and I've got two pieces that I find that I consistently give out, especially to newer agents when I cross their paths and they want to pick your brain, in real estate, how do you do it type of thing. And one is over time, find your niche in real estate. Some people it's rehab properties. Mine is executive relocation. It sort of came to me. Others are first-time home buyers. Find what is your area. Don't discount the others, but find one to really focus on, and the clients will come. The other piece of advice is know the contract. Don't just know how to fill in the blanks. Yeah. There are things built into that contract that help you on both sides. You can hold somebody's feet to the fire, but you can also help your client get out if you need to, and know what the contract says. Without that, you cannot advocate for your client. And I run across so many people, they just know how to fill in the blanks. There is just so much more to it. And that's my 30-year legal background coming into play. But know the contract, because your client is bound by the terms of it. And you need to make sure they understand. If they have never bought a house before, make sure they read that contract, or you have gone through, hit the high points. Paragraph 1, this is, paragraph 2, do you have any questions? Make sure they understand what they're signing.
Well, thank you, candidates. I think we owe them a big round of applause. I think we all have some really tough decisions to make. Voting for the board of directors will open Monday, August the 21st, and it'll run till Wednesday, September the 6th. Voting will be online. Please encourage everyone to cast their votes for the 4 open RSCK positions. The results of the election will be announced September the 7th at our annual meeting. And once again, thank you guys for your time here, and thank everyone for attending. We really appreciate you.
If you don't have anywhere to go, you can go next door and help